Hi, this is Eddie Hearn, and you're watching Lights Out.
This is Lights Out. I'm FAISAL Khan. With me, delighted to be joined by Mr. Dean Whyte, a busy Dean Whyte. Dean, good afternoon to you, brother. How you doing?
Afternoon, I'm well, man. Yeah, very tired but very busy. All is good.
Running around trying to get COVID tests done, spending a bit of time with the family before you fly out. You must be excited, but you must be also nervous now that the fight is literally only a few days away.
You know, my COVID test is done, got my result, so now it's a little bit more real. You know, I feel good anyways. I didn't really think anything, but I know sometimes they do give false positives, so I wasn't sure until that's done. You know, you're not leaving the place. You get me? So yeah, starting to be excited. I just looked on Instagram. I seem to have missed a lot of the stuff, but it's all good. Look, Dill looks in good shape. He looks focused. And it looks really nice. I saw them on the water standing in front of each other, Povetkin, and you know, it looks like serious business is going to go down Saturday night, and the redemption is on the card. You know, they will look sharp yesterday on the pads. He didn't give away too much, but his hand looked nice and fluid, and like I said, it looks like it's going to be serious business Saturday night. Povetkin looked well as well. He looked solid. The left looked nice. There was a nice thud in it. You know, he was trying to roll and looks like he's trying to cut the distance, which he works on with his feet. I saw him just doing a little shimmy coming forward. So it's going to be interesting, you know.
I just want to ask you, obviously, with the addition of Harold the Shadow Knight, what does that do for Dillian differently going into this fight? What sort of tactics can we see Dillian take into this rematch?
Well, you know, Shadow, you know, obviously he was with Lennox a long time, and I'm sure that's an invaluable experience. Lennox had one of the best jabs and long uppercuts, and understood boxing quite well. So they married quite well. So hopefully that experience being with Lennox, and to utilize that jab, Dill's always had a good jab. You know what I mean? It's just probably staying focused and kind of keep chipping away, because what happened in the last fight, he allowed Povetkin to close the distance a little bit too much after a while. You know what I mean? He seemed like he was having it quite easy, you know, boxing, doing stuff, and he allowed him to cut the distance. So hopefully, you know, there's things that Harold will say to him, look, you know, the jab is, you know, keep them out. You need to keep it in their face and keep that distance. And, you know, he's always going to be dangerous while he's in there. And then maybe he might say to him, look, you know, you're at your deadly best when, you know, you're trying to get people out of there as opposed to trying to be a people out boxer. He actually boxed really beautiful last time. Only thing is when he got in close, you know, we saw that Povetkin was planning and trying to do certain stuff. Like when Dillian hit the ropes, he needs to, try and keep that distance, get that, at arm's length, touch him, keep him at length, and just break him down methodically. You know what I mean? Chip away, go back to the body. He was doing some beautiful work to the body. Both of them was doing good work to the body. You know what I mean? But I think that body's work really was paying dividends against Povetkin, because he went downhill quite fast, and he started to tire, and his team was like, look, we're going to pull you out of there soon. And then the rest is history. You know what happened next. But I think Harold the Knight, Shadow, he will have some great experience. You know, I know Xavier is a brilliant coach. He's got some brilliant skills. Obviously, I think the two of them together seem to be gelling quite well. So hopefully that can marinate, and different sides of the coin, it will be able to gel on the night, and we'll see some great improvements from Dillian having had Harold in the camp for now 6 months or whatever it is.
Do you expect to see any sort of adjustments and perhaps maybe a different Dillian in this fight, or do you think that first performance up until the knockout is good enough to get him a victory on Saturday night?
I don't think there was much wrong. I wouldn't say. The only thing I would say is, look, there wasn't much wrong. Obviously, the only thing is he allowed him to close the distance. Povetkin's at his most deadliest best when you let him allow him to close the distance and get into that kind of punching range where he goes to the body and tries the uppercut and throws the left. But look, what you're talking about, a former Olympian, a former world champion, just trying to negate stuff. Obviously, it's easier said than done. I know, Dillian was looking like, he's saying, he's gonna press and he's gonna do something. I'd expect it to be educated pressure. I'd expect it to be calculated, but especially if he gets him hurt, to probably try and put the nail in the coffin and not be reckless disbandment and try and get him out of there. But, just smart, have your wits about you, potentially what's potentially going to come back if you're firing and trying to get someone out of there. Because, a wounded animal always, attacks back when you're trying to, finish off the prey. So it's going to be interesting. But like I said, I believe, the ingredients with Zav and Harold, I think it should be good. Listen, Dill's got a great boxing brain. It's very, very undervalued and undermined by some people. They think he's just a puncher and he's a brute, but he's actually got a good boxing brain. He does a lot of nice stuff. But I think in this fight here, I'd rather not see any catch and counters too much, because that means you're in punching range yourself, and that's a bad place to be if Povetkin's there. You know what I mean? So I'd prefer a lot of long work, a lot of body work, but keep everything long, sharp, keep turning, keep pivoting, creating angles, and just, boxing off the jab and just keeping it clean. I'm probably using the right down the pipe. I think that might be the kryptonite in this fight, jabbing, sending the right down the pipe and getting busy.
We've seen in rematches before, i.e. Fury versus Wilder 2, Joshua Ruiz 2, that they've adapted to their game, that they've taken a different approach into their fight. Dillian better than anyone. What approach do you want to see him take? Do you want to see the same Dillian Whyte that we've seen in the past, a guy that comes on the front foot, that puts the pressure on, that more or less likes to tear up, or do you think that there's perhaps 1-2 slight adjustments that he does need to make in this fight?
I think it's not much. I don't think there's going to be, he doesn't need to do much. Listen, he was doing, everything was A-OK until that fifth round. Look, if that fifth round didn't happen, he got that stoppage, everyone would have been talking how excellent Dillian boxed and what a masterclass. He bashed him up, dropped him, and got rid of him, and how easily XYZ. But, that didn't happen. People still talk about how good he boxed, but then they're still saying, well, he got caught with, the uppercut, which is a shot that he tends to get caught with, that people are saying, because he got caught with Rivas and he got caught by Joshua. For him to make adjustments is probably just on that, in terms of where he is, and not leaning over that front foot and being so over here so people can throw that uppercut. And I'm sure they've made adjustments. And we'll see Saturday night. Listen, this heavyweight boxing thing is very, very hard business. And when you're up against the elite of the elite, anyone can beat anyone on the night. But what I would say is, like I said, Dillian's shrewd. And one thing, he's a hard worker. So one thing I know, he's probably had 5 or 6 months of having to go through this, playing in his mind, saying, I made that mistake and got caught. You know what? I need to put it right. Whatever it takes and whatever it's going to take for me to get it right, I need to do it in the gym and make sure on the night it all gels and I get it right. And I believe he will.
Team Povetkin are very confident, rightfully so. They won the first fight.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, of course they should be. Yeah.
What's your message to Team Povetkin? Because like I said, you spent a lot of time with Dillian these last 7 months. You know how eager he's been for this rematch. What is your message to Team Povetkin?
There's not really much of a message. It's just, look, I'm sure they know they're going to be in a fight. And as he said after the fight, he's saying Dillian is very, very strong man. And, he's like a brute. He punches with bad intentions. So he knows what to expect. You know what I mean? Listen, he's got vast experience. He's been boxing for a very, very long time. There's nothing he hasn't seen. On the last outing, he managed to scrape the win. And he knows, look, he's in for a tough fight. I saw him yesterday. He looked cool. He looked okay. I don't know what to take from his comments. He was saying something about, I'm going to come in and just give it my all, win or lose or something. But I don't know if there's anything much to take in it. He didn't say much. The translator was talking. It's hard to decipher for a translator, you know what I mean? But look, as long as both guys come out okay, I'm hoping, preferably we like to get the same kind of medicine dealt back, and i.e. being a knockout, but we'll be sufficient with any kind of win. But the likelihood, I can't see this guy in 12 rounds.
One final question, Dean. Predict for us what happens. Well, forget prediction. What is going to happen on Saturday night?
I predict a very nice, educated jab. I expect explosive Dillian going to the body, going to the head, and I expect Dillian to get a knockout. And that's what I expect. I expect redemption. But by no means is it an easy fight and it's a foregone conclusion. So I expect, Povetkin's going to try and bring his A game. but I believe Dillian will be the younger guy, the fresher guy, the guy that's made the adjustment. And I think him sticking behind his jab and sending that right down the pipe, I think he should be able to see off an aging Povetkin, i.e., even though I'm saying aging, he's aged like fine wine and a former champion Olympic competing at this level at 41. You know, we've got to give him his credit, you know what I mean? So respect to him, respect to his team, and, you know, wish him all the best, but not much of the best, and Dillian gets the win.
Well said. Right. Well, listen, Dean, I promise I wouldn't take up too much of your time, so I'll let you crack on. Hope you have a safe flight, and I hope you have quite a bit of fun out there. We're struggling to have fun in the UK at the moment, given the current circumstances, but yeah, make the most of it. And we look forward to speaking to you when you're back, and fingers crossed for a good positive result on Saturday night.
Listen, appreciate it, man. Guys, tune in, lock in, and support. Thanks very much. Take it easy.
Man, Dean Whyte, as a pleasure. Thank you. A pleasure as always. Thank you very much for your time. Thank you for talking to Lights Out, mate.
And the same to you, my friend.
Safe
All
flight.
right, take care. Bye.